On September 28th, 2017, I got the call at 8 o'clock in the morning. The biopsy I had done was tested positive for breast cancer. And I want to talk to you, church, about the goodness of God. The goodness of God to me is not just a cliche thing that, oh, God is good all the time God is good. But it has always encouraged me when I see the people that have gone through fire. When we talk about the goodness of God, it comes from the most broken part of us. God's goodness is not dependent on the good things or the bad things and our circumstances. God's goodness is dependent on who He is as a person. So one day after I was done working out, I love to work out all through my diagnosis, and I was sitting in my garage and God spoke to me. He said, asked me a question. He said, Ashadee, would you trust me with your life? And I said, of course. He said, do you believe that I can heal you? And I said, yes. And then his other question kind of shocked me. And he said, Ashadee, would you trust me if I don't heal you? And I just started crying. And I said, God, you wouldn't do that. And he started bringing to my mind all these amazing men and women who were people of faith and that had passed away from cancer. And he's like, will you trust me if I don't heal you? I sat there as God brought vision in front of me of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, of God being in the fire with them. And every time I talk about this story, I just want to break down because God poured His goodness over me in that moment until I said, yes, I will trust you, even if you don't heal me. And I'm sitting here today with the doctors saying that I'm NED, meaning no evidence of disease. With the cancer that I have, it is a high reoccurrence rate, meaning that the goodness of God is not dependent on if I am cancer-free or if I am full of cancer. The goodness of God is dependent on who He is. I want to end this with a psalm, the Psalm 23 that we've been going through. As Pastor Larry, Pastor Ben, and the other pastors have been going through this series, it reminded me of a psalm that I had revamped. When I looked back, it was Psalm 23. And I had written it on April of last year when I was right in the midst of the cancer being all over my body and not knowing if I would survive. God spoke this psalm over my heart. So I just want to end it by reading it. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all I need. Everything. He makes me lie down when I want to keep working out, when I want to gather with my friends and my family, when I want control over everything in my life, when I want to stay up worrying about my kids or my husband or my blood work or the millions of decisions I have to make or the new pain in my body that could be another reoccurrence in a new place. He makes me lie down in the comfort of new life, wide open life with space to breathe and grow in. He leads me beside the waters that gives me white noise for the crazy in my days. The waters that cool down my overheated mind, the waters that never run dry and is thirst quenching. He restores, He rebuilds, He resuscitates my fractured soul. He gives it mouth to mouth. He breathes His breath of life into the deepest, darkest parts of it. He leads me. He takes me by the hand and He shows me the way to go when there's so many voices telling me what to do next for His name's sake. And even though I'm walking among the stench of death, constantly seeing my friends die, hearing that I could or would or should or will die, even though I am so intimately close to death's shadow, I can feel its dark breath on my neck some days. I will fear no evil, none, nada. The more death tries to swallow me up, the more fearless I become because you are walking right there with me, your hand encasing mine, because your rod, which lovingly disciplines me, and your staff, which graciously guides me, brings me such deep comfort. You prepare your lavish provision right in front of me, right in front of the death speakers and the multiple bill collectors and the ones who stay away because the battle is too long, and those who use prayer as a means to gossip, and all who just want a front row seat to another sad cancer story. And you pour your oil on my head, and you remind me, I am yours, your daughter. I am way more than cancer. I am a princess, and my cup overflows with your love, with your approval, your relentless pursuit of a girl who you left the 99 for and chased after. Surely some pretty unbelievable, stunning things mixed with a whole lot of grace will pursue me every single day of this life that I've got left. And I want to hang out, and I want to worship loud, and I want to dance like mad and lay at your feet and learn every single thing about you forever and ever. Selah. Y'all, I'm cancer-free. Praise Jesus.